What's up, guys?
Today's Travel Story Thursday, where we share, well, today's we, but it's usually me. We share a story from our travels.
Today's story is from Ethiopia.
Ethiopia. We went to Ethiopia in 2015. Was it March or April?
Yeah, around then.
Either March or April break, and we spent 3 weeks there.
No, 2 weeks. We spent 2 weeks there. We traveled all around. We were in Addis Ababa, GONDAR.
Good morning from GONDAR.
Lalibela.
We went to Harar.
Harar.
No, this story actually took place in Harar.
Now the reason why we went to Harar, it was a little out of the way, but the reason why we went there is because you can feed hyenas. And that was our sole purpose of going to Harar. It turned out being a really cool place as well. It's
actually,
a UNESCO heritage site.
And should give a little bit of history about Harar. So I think it's the oldest civilization where
Christians and Muslims are
basically live together.
In
so
peace.
From what was told by our tour guide Grima, sometimes the Christians and Muslims would have lunch together. It was like that tightly knit. And what I love most about the city was you had the old city and the new city. All right, now the old city is basically like a walled city with cobblestone roads and
stone buildings.
Yeah, you think about all these stories, there's always some kind of controversy, either in our favor or not. This one wasn't in our favor.
Well, normally I book all of the accommodations so that we don't have to worry. And going to Harar, I was like, oh, we'll just figure it out when we get there, because I had tried to call a guest house a few months earlier, but the lady didn't speak English very well, so when I called and tried to communicate with her, she just ended up hanging up on me.
She gave you Delta?
Well, like not rudely, but I just think she didn't understand what I was saying, so there's no point in us trying to
converse. Yeah, true.
Talk, right? Okay. So then we were like, okay, we'll just like show up in Harar and we have a few names of guest house and we'll find a guest house.
So here's the thing. The lesson that we learn is before you go to a destination, research if they have any kind of holidays or like public celebrations or anything going on, because when we land, actually to make it even worse, we landed at nighttime. So got to Harar nighttime, excited, pull up to this hotel, out to the tuk-tuk.
No, before even that, the guy in the taxi, he's like, do you have accommodation booked?
Oh yeah, true.
And we said no, and he was like, oh. He's like, you guys might be in trouble, because even in Deir Dawa, all of the accommodation is booked because there's some sort of celebration happening.
It's a Christian festival, so people from all over Ethiopia basically came to this one town for the celebration.
So anyway, we figured, like, for sure there'll be like something. There'll be like one room. So the bus dropped us, and then I think we hopped in a taxi when we arrived in Harar, and we asked them to take us to a hotel. Walked in the first hotel, they were like, no, sorry, it's booked. And we asked, like, do you know if any hotels around here would have rooms?
That was a no. That was a no as well.
So then it was dark. It was probably 8 or 9 o'clock.
8 or 9 o'clock at night. Okay, so as we said earlier, you got the old city, which has a wall around it, and then there's the new city. So we were trying to find hotels in the new city, and that was, you say fruitless? That's a word?
Nope. It was a nope.
There were no fruits on the tree.
Well, then we remembered the guest houses were in the old city, so I think we had them like on the map or something. Like, but our GPS didn't work, obviously, because we didn't have data. So we started walking through the old city. There's no lights. Yeah, tiny little cobblestone streets. And
dark alleys.
We found and like there's no markings of like this is a guest house, just big stone walls.
And even if there were markings, everything was written in the local language, which is AMHARIC. And I can't read it. I don't know about Kelly.
That's
either way, we might have passed a couple of guest houses, but just didn't know.
So there's a big tin metal door. So then we knocked. We were like little kids, like trick-or-treating, hoping someone would come to the door and open it up. We knock, and then finally someone came to the door, and we asked if this was the guest house, and they said yes, and we asked if they had room, and they said no.
No score.
And they started to close the door, and like just before the door closed, they said try down the road.
Yeah.
my sister has a guest house. So we're like, okay, so fingers crossed, like there's another place, maybe she has room. So
back out into the streets, dragging bags. We went to the next spot and knock on the door.
No answer.
No score.
I'd started to accept that
we were sleeping on the streets.
We were just gonna sleep on the streets. Yeah.
We probably tried like
No
three different places.
Babe, we after the one lady told us to go down the street to her sister, that was our next spot.
So we didn't try another one after that?
No.
So that was the last and final one?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Because there was nothing else. There was no other guest houses in that, like, that we could see on our map in that small town.
Yeah.
There might have been if we had Wi-Fi. So then we knock on the door. No one came to the door. Knocked again. We must have knocked like 3 times and no one came to the door. We were just about to walk away and be like, okay, like we need to find a corner.
Actually, we just come to the decision that we can take turns sleeping on the corner. So the girls would sleep first and I would stay up and watch the bags and everything and protect. And then somebody
then you would sleep and we would wake up.
Oh my God, we was ready just to sleep on the streets. How you felt in that moment? Like you despair, like what you felt?
But I feel like I was like kind of like, this can't be happening. I think I was in denial. Or you're like, I can't believe this is happening.
Yeah.
Just as we're about to like look around for a spot to sleep, we hear the door open.
Like,
and we like ran back like ding ding ding, like Alvin and the Chipmunks. Hello? And we were like, oh, do you have room? And I mean, her friendliness grew, but in that moment, she was not the warmest, welcoming person. And she was like, come in. Okay. And then she brought us into a room, which was actually quite big. There was 3 beds. So as she like brought us a blanket or something, she looked at Amy and I, and she was like,
He will go.
He will go?
He will go.
Question or statement? We're not sure. And then we're like, no, like he's my husband. He will stay. And yes, she wasn't happy with it because
not at all.
I think it would have been fine if you and I were staying in a room, but because we had another woman staying in the room, I don't think it sat well with her.
Yeah.
Yes, being like a very traditional Muslim place.
But even if I would have been happy.
Well, you could have just slept in the courtyard outside. Well, you could have just slept in the courtyard outside.
Try again.
And there was also that other room.
Anywhere behind the gate, I would have slept. Just not
because
to be
I
in the
think
streets.
hyenas sometimes come into the streets.
I ain't gonna eat right now. Not hyena.
Things always work out.
Most of the time.
Most
of the time, things work out. But that's part of travel right there. Like, just be prepared at some points to.
Want to cry? It ended up working out really well. We stayed there 2 nights. Mm-hmm. We made friends with some Germans. Mm-hmm. Went on a tour with them. They had delicious breakfast donuts. Remember the donuts?
Nope.
You don't remember those donuts that they brought us for breakfast, and you could dip them in sugar? And Amy was opening up the donut and putting sugar inside of it.
Oh, you're talking about the more? Oh, yeah, okay.
From the guest house?
Yeah, from the guest house. I thought you meant from the German.
No,
couple.
I think you and Amy were putting sugar sandwich donuts
inside the middle. Well, it wasn't nothing. It wasn't no cheese or anything. Well, I don't want cheese, but it was nothing to put inside it. So what is most upsetting for me is not having footage of any of this, because I wasn't really like into vlogging that kind of way yet. Like, I would take some clips here or there, taking like pictures, and yeah, I think that's the end of this Travel Story Thursday. Like,
go to Ethiopia, it's amazing.
Go to Ethiopia.
It's absolutely beautiful, and like, people are great.
Immersed in the culture. The food
there's so much history. The food.
The food. You would just start with the food. Food is to die for. That injera, and if you don't know what injera is, you can look it up. This is the age of the internet.
We lived off Shiro and Tibbs.
Shiro and Tibbs. Oh gosh, you're making me hungry now, babe.
Subscribe.
You just deserve a hug.
Press the button.
Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining my video today. Thank you for joining my video today.
Am I allowed to come back?
If you're allowed to come back, ask the people. Should we do another Travel Story Thursday with Kelly? Drop it down below in the comment section. Thanks again for watching, and we will see you in the next Travel Story Thursday. And stay tuned for a vlog tomorrow of
Barbados.
Beautiful Barbados. Peace.